What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Toy Talk. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Toy Father. With me, as always, I got
No tune. What's up, all?
This is where I'd also introduce Cox Create and Toy Addict. Toy Addict is going to join us in a little bit. Cox Create couldn't join us today. He got held up at work. We miss you, buddy. We wish you were here. But I'll tell you, we're going to bring the show to you anyway. So I'm really excited. No chewing. What's going on? How you been?
Real excited, and we spent a lot of time together recently. This past week, virtually and in person, which was really nice.
It was nice. So I was on vacation last week, and I really we didn't go away, and we just hung out. And so I believe at least 4 days last week, 4 or 5, 5, no 4.
We did 4, and we met in real life once, so five days, and then we also did the 2 streams. So
oh my gosh,
7 times,
right?
7 interactions in a week.
So we did Toy Talk, we did TPC Top 10, we did 4 Toy and Tells. If you haven't checked that out, check out our Toy and Tells. They're a lot of fun. We set up some shots. I got some awesome tips from No Chewing and from people in the chat, such as Machu, Emerald Knight, Mary Bird. So many people that were in, and it was so much fun. And all the final product pictures are on my Instagram. Check that out. And I want to do more. I hope I can do more later. Now that I'm working, I can't, but
I need to do one of these. I'm always the man in the chair.
I know
the Ned to your Spidey.
Yeah,
which is fun. I like being Ned.
I'll be Ned. You can be Spidey. It's okay. And then No Chewing and I, we met up at a comic book store because they were having a 30 to 50% off sale on figures, and it was right near No Chewing. So we met up there, and then we grabbed dinner together. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was nice. I controlled myself. I walked away from that sale with 1 Super 7 Donald Duck, and Toy Father bought some expensive figure.
It wasn't that bad.
You bought Mezco. You walked away from Mezco. There's only so many more expensive items in the store. It's a comic shop. Their average price is $4.
Okay. When you put it that way, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I bought a Mezco Predator for $70-something. Not bad, right? I thought so. And then I bought an Elf that wasn't discounted, but it would have been the same price, if not more, if I had paid for shipping and everything like that. So I bought that new NECA Ultimate Elf, which I'm really excited for too. So I thought those were 2 great pickups.
Oh, I thought they were great. I would have bought the Elf if you didn't.
Oh, would you have?
Yeah, but
I'm sorry.
Okay. I can easily get it anywhere. It's a full retail price Elf. I'll find it.
Well, anyway, I'm super excited, and it was a lot of fun hanging out. We went to a good restaurant, and that comic book store had a lot of stuff. It really did. It had 2 Crow Mezcos.
Yeah, it had some Mezcos on sale, like Mezco Hella, Mezco Captain Marvel. I was really tempted on the Diamond Select Muppet figures.
Oh yeah,
they look cool.
Well, how much would those been?
$20 per. So
$20, yeah. That's a good price.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, let's go to the chat. Let's check out, see who's in here. We got Machu Toy. How you doing, bud? We got Not a Bird. Killing it.
Thanks for always joining us. We really appreciate it.
Did you see Not a Bird's latest picture with the famous World War II picture where goes back and kisses?
Seamlessly added in Popeye.
So when he posted that picture, I thought this was going to be a preview of sets of pictures that he was going to put out, and I did not even see Popeye in it. And so I said in my comments, "Oh, I can't wait for these! I can't wait for these!" And then realized, "Oh, Popeye's right there. This is an actual picture."
Yeah, you did a great job, and I actually have a preview for his submission for Black and Wednesdays this upcoming Wednesday. Without Toy Addict here, I'll just plug that every Wednesday. Use the hashtag #TA_Black and Wednesdays. Simple ask is that it's a black and white shot first, but for this month's theme, splash of green. Last month was a splash of red.
Yeah, and there'll be Splasher Green. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally awesome. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Jimmy Pop, how you doing? Toy Talk, you were not the first comment. Sorry.
I was commenting on Machu's
Oh, got
first.
it.
First, I don't think we ever had someone come in and say first before, so I feel like that's a badge of honor.
Oh, got it. I am TJ Williams. How's it going?
What's up, man?
We got our guest
Of course.
in the comments. We got Carlos. How you doing, Carlos?
And yes, please do hit that like button. Thank you so much, man.
And subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
Oh yeah,
We got our boy Yimbo.
Oh.
How's it going, buddy?
What's up, man?
Yes, D Blake. What's up, D Blake? How you doing, buddy? Check out D Blake Makes. His signs are incredible. Thanos Copter. What's up, bud?
Nice. I love the logo and I love the name.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Rabbit's Den. What's going on?
Marco.
Across the Toy Multiverse. How's it going?
Hey.
We were making some bounce cards this weekend. We got KJ Smith. X-Wing Pilot 54. How's it going? We got Christopher Sullivan, big fan of High School Creations. How's it going? Samurai Chris. What's up, Samurai Chris? As
What's
always, welcome. And Dig Figs.
Oh, awesome.
They're worth it for the accessories alone. That's true.
It's true. The Swedish chef almost got me.
That's a good one. He had his really good accessories. All right. Well, let me tell you. What else do we have to plug? We have one more thing to plug, don't we?
So tonight is Toy Talk, but on Wednesdays we do a TPC Top 10 on the Toy Pick Community YouTube channel. And this week is a special week because last week was all about accounts underneath 1,000 followers. So this week we'll be celebrating those that landed in the top 10, as well as having a few surprises that we reached out to some other photographers for to provide tips to those that are just starting out.
Yes. And we have a secret hashtag.
Oh, yeah. We always plug it on the lives, but we tend not to show it directly on Instagram. Last week's one was TPC_old friends. So if you'd like to be featured via that hashtag, we normally pick 3 each week.
Got it. Hey, can you do one thing for me?
Yeah.
Can you also talk about one of our toy and tells while I send Danny this link, because I think I sent him the wrong one?
Oh, sure. So last week we did 4 episodes of Toy and Tell, each one kind of pushing, a different theme or technique. One of which is bounce cards. So today I actually had a post of a Woody, the Toy Story Woody, using a bounce card and one without. And interestingly enough, asking people which they prefer. A lot of people actually prefer the one without the bounce card for more of the shadow work, which I thought was really interesting.
Did they really?
But, yeah. And tomorrow I have a behind the scenes reel, very quick, essentially saying a bounce card can be anything. So spoilers in that reel, I actually just used the box.
You used the box, that's it?
Yeah, that was it. It was reflective enough, and it did the job.
Sorry, I'm just trying to. There were so many different links that I sent myself that I wasn't sure if it was the same one.
Oh, and we got some more people. We got Too Much New Toys. Cody, welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you don't know him, he's been doing these little segments on Yimbo's show on Sundays, normally about Ninja Turtles or so. They're fantastic.
Yeah, they are great. He does a great job.
Yeah, Yimbo's shows turn into like a daily show type
atmosphere
where he has commentators and it's awesome. I think he has 2 now.
He has 2
people that do segments for him.
Yes, he does. Yep. One of them is sequential plastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. Just trying to get Danny into this toy attic, into this one. I'm hoping this one works. But while we're here, why don't we celebrate our guest? And I'm really excited about this next guest. He's part of the group, the Nebulars, with Toying Around. And this guest is amazing at Dio work. his Dio work is incredible. He's created an entire neighborhood and keeps adding to it. The most incredible part of his work is that when he posts a picture of his work, and I'm serious, and what he does is a really nice job. He'll post a reel to let me know that it's a Dio, but I don't know if it's a picture of a real building or if it's a Dio. That's how good his details are, and that's how good his work is. So let's welcome our buddy, High School Creations, aka Mike. Mike, how's it going, buddy?
Let me get
What's
off
up,
here.
man? Welcome
Hey
to the
guys,
show.
yeah, thank you. Thanks for the invite and thanks for that intro. So thank you.
Yeah. I'm really proud of my intros. I really like introducing someone. So I hope it does you justice. I hope it makes you blush. I hope you feel proud of your work because you should.
It's here. The flush is
I mean,
here.
honestly, it's happened. Toy Father said like sometimes he gets tricked. It looks so real. When it's in black and white, I honestly get tricked. Like your quick stop diorama, I thought was just like you were scouting a scene or something. You just drove by the quick stop and snapped a picture.
That's what I thought. I just watched I think it was Clerks 2. It was either 3 or 2. And I was like, whoa, he just took a picture of that, huh? And he just posted it. Okay. I was like, wait, did he
awesome.
do it? Danny, what's up, buddy?
Hello, everyone.
What's up, man?
And here's our third guest, Toy Addict 17. Sorry, buddy. Sorry about the technical difficulties. All right, sounds good.
I'm sorry, I was savoring that one.
So High School Creations, it's great to have you here. And before we like to get started, we like to have a discussion question to kind of like get us very comfortable with each other, because sometimes this is the first time we all meet together, and you'll get to know kind of some of us through our questions and our answers to this one discussion question. Last week was a great one. That last week was is Gerard Butler our this generation's action star? I don't think we came to an agreement, but it was a good discussion. So this one is called Dinner Party. So anyone, Danny, I didn't tell you this one. You can invite 3 people to your dinner party. They can be dead or alive, but they have to have been or have to be real people. So you can't say Michael Myers. You can't say Jason. In fact, I think they'd be terrible dinner guests. But
Very silent.
why? Because no one would be talking unless that's perfect dinner for you.
So repeat that again.
3 dinner guests, dead or alive. Who would you invite and why? Now, if you need time to think about it, I can go first because I have it in here right now. So mine would be number 1, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is one of the funniest, most intelligent people out there, and he has an incredible social commentary. And you know what? I think you'd be just a fun hang. The next is the Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama, what an interesting person on life, aspect on life. And I've read one of his books. It's been long ago, but it was a incredible book, and he has an interesting outlook on life that I really appreciate. And I think the mixture of him and Dave Chappelle would be great. Third person. Oh man, what is the third person? Gerard Butler. You know why? Because he is this generation's action star.
No, shut up. You're just a big fan of P.S. I Love You. You watch it every Valentine's Day. I get it.
Not a bad movie either.
Not a bad movie. He's a fan of Plane.
Plane is a great movie. Did I tell you guys that?
Yeah, he told us many times.
Plane, train, cars.
Well, the sequel Ship is going to be excellent. I'm just saying. Mike, how about you? Have you thought about this question?
You put me on the spot, and mine's a different kind of spin. Mine are people that are alive today who I know have a relationship, and I actually know one of these guys. And I think a dinner party would be super fun with these 3.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Pedro because 1, he's Mando, and the new Last of Us movie is so good.
Yes.
And then I hear these guys are buddies, Oscar Isaac, and then Mike Hernandez, the Figure Report. I think that would be a good time.
Huh.
Wait, who are friends?
I believe Pedro and Oscar Isaac.
Oh, I thought you said Mike Hernandez and Oscar were friends, and I was like, really? But yes, Pedro Pascal is definitely a good pick. Like his range of acting is incredible. Last of Us, you were absolutely right. He was so good. Have you seen The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nick Cage and Pedro?
I have not. I got to go back and check out some of his earlier stuff.
So this is a more recent movie that came out last
really?
year.
Okay.
But so it has Nick Cage, and it's about Nick Cage, and it's kind of a satire on Nick Cage.
Oh, I have seen this. They go to he goes to like his mansion or something. And he's like a
Ultimate Nick Cage fan.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, that one's a great one. Check that one out. No chewing. Attic.
Yeah, that's been on my list for a while. I need to check that one out. And if you didn't catch it, Pedro Pascal was on SNL a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
And he was fantastic. So I can imagine he knows how to have a good time.
Yeah. What was that skit? It was a parody of The Last of Us, but it was about Mario.
Oh yeah.
And he played Mario.
Rainbow Rose.
Yeah, in a drama of Mario. It was pretty funny. Well, how about you, No Chewing? Who are your 3 dinner guests? And I want to hear in the chat, who are your 3 dinner guests?
I think I would choose, I'm going to show my colors on this one because it'd be an interesting conversation just to have. If in this scenario, he'd be willing to divulge secrets, I would love to have a dinner with Kevin Feige to understand the last 15 years of Marvel that he's experienced, the starts, the stops, what he really wanted to do, why he almost, left the company. To complement that, I'm a huge Hugh Jackman fan. I think I've seen every movie he's been in. Actually, no, that's not true. I think I fell off the map a few years ago, but I'm a big fan. I think he also has a wealth of knowledge and experiences between his more dramatic pieces, playing Wolverine for 17 years, and then his musical history, an experience on Broadway. I think those two could have a very long conversation and just, spill all the secrets. And I just eat all that up. And then the last one would be, last one, it would either be Kevin Smith or Stan Lee.
Ooh, good ones.
I would I love Kevin Smith, but I feel like I know every story he has because of the podcast. Yeah. And there's probably very little I'll discover new. But Stan Lee, I even though he's a very public persona for most of his career, I think he kept a lot of the good stuff, to himself. So give him the chance to learn some secrets of the creation of Marvel, the interaction with writers and artists across 40 years in his career. I think that would be an amazing dinner to just have those 3 people. And of course, this dinner needs to last 7 days straight. Yeah. So I can learn everything.
So true. That third one's tough to think about. Danny?
Hi. Well, it's obvious that I would probably say Arnold and Jim Carrey, but I'm not going to say them.
Why?
Because they're obvious people, so I'm going to pick different people because they're actually interesting. So the first one would be Prince. I would definitely want Prince.
Oh, good
at a dinner. Prince is one of my favorite artists growing up, and he was just a talented freaking guy. And I'm also too, I want to play a game of basketball with him because he really did play basketball. All that skit on Dave Chappelle of him playing basketball, that was all legit. He could really play basketball.
And then he served you pancakes afterwards.
Perfect, right? What a day, right? I get pancakes and we play ball. Prince would definitely be one. 2, I would say Jim Carrey. I am gonna say Jim Carrey. It's just Jim Carrey and me share a birthday. That's my favorite comedian ever now, and I feel like I will, I know I'll have good laughs with him. And then last but not least would be Christopher Reeves. I would like to meet him and tell him that he made everything, he made my childhood special. He made my childhood very, very special, and and I would tell him to take over the DC universe movies. I'm like, can you reboot the whole thing? Just play Superman one more time. No, but he would be great to just to actually have around and just compliment the whole name. Just tell him how much he made my childhood fun because he was awesome. Christopher Reeve was the man.
Those are some 3 good ones, Danny. Wow.
Really good ones, man.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the chat. I know Not a Bird said Kevin Smith, Anthony Hopkins, and Ryan Reynolds. That'd be a great dinner party.
Oh, that's a good one.
Too Much Toy says The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is the greatest film of our generation, and I kind of agree with you.
Is it really? Okay.
It's an excellent movie. It's really funny. It's really funny, and just Pedro Pascal is just really funny in it. Too Much Toys would pick Bill Nye, Stephen Donaldson, the author, and Freddie Mercury. Ooh, those are some really good ones. I like that. And then Not a Bird says that he's bumping Kevin Smith for Christopher Reeves.
That's solid. That's a solid choice.
Christopher Reeves, man.
Sequential Practice said, Plastic says Kurt Russell, Stephen King, Steven Spielberg. Ooh, those are good
Spielberg
ones.
would be a great conversation.
One of my friends, he grew up going to Maine, and Stephen King lived in that like neighborhood that he would go to during the summer. And there was a summer softball game that happened every summer. And he remembers he played in it, and Stephen King was pitching, and he hit a line drive right into Stephen King's shin. And I said, whatever books he wrote after, he probably murdered you in them. So I think I'm pretty sure that he held that ball to the shin in high regard. Kevin Conray, Anton Dvorak, and J.R.R. Tolkien. That's a good one.
Oh, that'd be an interesting pair or trio.
Akira Toriyama, Oscar Wilde, and David Bowie. David Bowie. Nice.
Ooh. This is a fun game. We could go on for a while.
And Jimmy Pop says Ozzy Osbourne, Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, what a time.
That would be amazing.
What a time.
Wait, is Ozzy, did he pass or is he still alive?
He's still alive.
He's still alive.
He's still alive, right?
Oh, God. That hurt you saying that. That hurt.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wow.
T. Blake would pick his mom and dad so they could see my kids and I could see how much I miss them. For the third, Steve Irwin, just because he's amazing. Those are some great ones, T. Blake.
Awesome.
Hey, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining in and letting us know who you would pick for your dinner party. Now, as we get to know High School Creations, please, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. We're going to star them. We're going to ask questions as we go along to High School Creations. High School Creations, it's kind of like a simple format. We just ask you questions and you answer them. And if you get into any topics that you want to ask us, that you can feel free.
If I get the question wrong, do I fail or?
There, yep. And then we shut off the stream. It's how we get all the views. So one thing that we like all of our guests to start with is like, let's talk about like your origin, whether it's, so our show is all about how toys brings us together. Like, why is this toy community so amazing when it comes to toy photographers, dio makers, cosplay? At one point, we all collect toys and we all are come together in this community. What is your toy origin, High School Creations? What is your toy origin?
Yeah, so I think back in, early childhood, I remember my mom worked at Children's Palace, and it was like a parody of Toys R Us back in the day, and it closed down when I was young too. But I remember seeing all the toys and like her getting her friends' kids the toys, and I remember seeing them and saying, "Oh, that's for me," and it's not for me. And a great example of that is the Thunder Tank. And here in a few weeks or months, I'll have my Thunder Tank, but I never got that as a kid. So now, as an adult, I'm collecting all the things I wasn't able to get, and that's kind of what drives me, as well as the things my kids are into. They'll get into something and I'll go right with them. And so, it's just seeing that look in their face, and it takes me back to my childhood. So that's where most of my collecting comes from is, those early years of the 80s cartoons and the early 90s cartoons, and just missing out on things I really wanted. Now I'm getting them. So
Thundercats was one of them. What other 80s
Thundercats, Transformers. I wasn't as much into Joe's. I got into Joe's as an adult because Hasbro was killing it with that line. And Spider-Man animated series was big. X-Men, obviously the animated series in the early 90s. Those are some of the big ones. Gargoyles. I mean,
Oh, that's
video games, like what video games, Sonic, Nintendo, all the stuff that generation really loved. I was into, and then obviously Star Wars, and my dad was in Star Trek, so I was into Star Trek as well, and still am a Trekkie and a Star Wars guy. So it's kind of hard to ride both lines sometimes, but it's fun.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you have a huge collection of toys.
Yeah, especially nowadays, man. Like everybody's making everything and everything is good. So it's hard to pass on anything, right? And if it's there and I'm not taking, food out of my kid's mouth, I'm probably gonna buy it, right? And yeah, the collection is pretty big. I've been collecting pretty hard past 4 years. Started in Hasbro and then started working my way up, and now I'm into things like pre-ordering every Mafex. I'm into 3-0. They're in the 112 skip line. I really like what they're doing, and I dabble with hot toys. So I'm a little all over the place. I'm looking at vintage collection here. I'm into customs. Here's one from Uncanny Sculpts. He did the Monkey King for Kev a few years ago. And Parallel had his head sculpts. So I'm a little all over the place, but it's fun. It makes me happy.
Yeah, definitely. Whatever makes you happy. I think that's pretty incredible. Do you have like a room dedicated for all your stuff, or?
Actually, no, because I have kids that are 3 and 4. Every room is almost dedicated these days. There's a toy just about in every room, so it's passable. As they get older, I'll probably have to condense to one room, but we're all into the same stuff. That's cool. With the YouTube and streaming, they're into the 80s stuff. Like we've been watching the original Transformers movie like back to back, listening to the soundtrack, collecting figures. So it's really cool to relive those moments. My kid loves it. Kids loves it just as much as I do. So it's really cool to see that.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. It's yeah, you definitely with the kids. I feel like you have to. You are reliving your second childhood through them and seeing what they want. I mean, my kids aren't necessarily into the stuff that I like, but my girls, they'll humor me. They'll be like, "Oh, wow, Daddy, what's this? Wow, that's really cool. All right, I'm gonna go over here." I'm like, "Okay."
As they pat you on the head and walk away.
That's great, Dad. All right. So high school creations, in terms of the transitioning to dio making, like was art something that you always loved to do, or was this something like, what, I'm going to get into dio making? I don't know if you were into toy photography, so kind of that piece.
I'll take you way back. I've always been some sort of artist. Drawing was my big thing, and painting, more drawing though, sketching, like all through, elementary school, going to some, awards and winning some art summer contests. And then in high school, I really forgot about that stuff. I was more about having a good time, but I did still draw, and it was very weird things. And that's what actually led me back, to high school creations. I found these things when my kids were born. I hadn't really done anything creative in a number of years. I was like, well, let me take these into a digital form and paint them and stuff and start posting them. And I didn't want to do that as myself, Mike. I did it as high school creations because I was nervous what people may say, right? And so I started doing that in 2017, 2018. Oh, wow. Then got into making cosplay because my kids were going to cons and started reliving those fun things, right? So got into cosplay, started collecting again. And then I saw photography, and I always liked taking pictures. I always had cameras and, technology to do so. So I saw Johnny on Tested, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And so that got me into some of the first figure lines. I think he was using these guys, the Star Wars reimagined things. And then I was like, well, let me get some backdrops for my stuff. And I made up my first brick wall. It came to me pretty easy because I was already making cosplay. I already had all the tools, and I just kept going. Every time I did something, I tried to see how I could do it better, what tool I could use. And where I am today, I have like a shop full of tools, from lasers to CNCs, printers, and now I'm making my own, hopefully, line with Wall XD. So I've had a lot of fun with it, and I've been really serious about it, and I'm still having fun, and here I am.
I mean, just going through your page right now, for those of you who have not seen his work, this is just a few of the things, and I truly do mean it. There are pictures in here where you're like, is this real? Like, here, is this real or is this a dio? And
I mean, I can touch it.
yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry. Is this a real building?
I joke.
But
I know.
look at this. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, shout
Like-
out to Oiler's Workshop. He made those little paper things. You just cut them out, put them together. But
the paper things. Which paper?
if
things?
you back out and go to the next post, you'll see
this
that
one.
little trash can there right below
Oh.
it. Yeah. He provides these on his Etsy store, but they're McDonald's. You cut them out and assemble them, and then there you go.
So
Oh, that's
cool.
awesome.
But that's really cool. Some trash there. But yeah, it's really fun. So I do a lot of, reference material. I like to look at, Google Images, or like my wife will catch me rolling down alleys and she's like, why are we back here? And, I'm getting inspiration and trying to see how things really work, because when I build, I try to build how it would actually be built. It makes it look more real, right?
Like this. I thought this was real. Well, I thought this was a neighborhood. Oh my goodness.
It's
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
it looks 1-to-1, not 1/12.
1-to-1. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Now, are these things that you sell or for yourself?
A combination of both. A lot of times, commissioners, I don't really take commissions unless it's like a real challenge like that. Not saying that everything's not a challenge, but being, this isn't what I do full time. I have a full-time career. I'm a full-time dad of 2 kids. I have a wife, and I do this as a hobby, so I can't take them all on. But when I do, I make like these big ones like this, right? I make something that I know is going to challenge me and going to be fun to build, right? And so, this particular commission came from Astonishing News and Reviews, Elvin up in Canada. And, we started out with the design. This took me about 2 years to make. He should be receiving it today, actually. It went on a pallet to him.
No way.
But, this wasn't supposed to be a McDonald's. About halfway through, I was like, dude, I want to do a McDonald's. He wanted like a burger joint. I was like, I really want a McDonald's. Can I do it? And he was like, yes, you can do it. And I was like, I love you. And like, he was one of the best commissioners ever, because he wanted, the best timeline, whatever I wanted to do. He told me to put my 100% into it. And you can see like my skill is growing as this piece was growing. And this was a piece that will always stick with me. This was a very fun build, and one of the biggest I've built so far.
Man, that is amazing.
Just bricks. I think there's like 7 different brick styles. There's roller, there's hand cut, there's hand carved, there's laser. What else is there? There's all these different things of bricks. And so it's fun.
Look at this. Oh my goodness.
That's a cool piece, because last year my kids were like, they are my inspiration. They're like, hey, because I build diodes with them. Like, why don't you try cut one on a laser? Little tuned down a little bit, because that's not exactly how kids talk. But like, use the laser to build one. I was like, okay. So I got to designing in the laser software and came out with this.
Jeez.
And then this ended up being the base design for Wall XD. So there's a lot of sentimental value in Wall XD and the origins.
Wow. Well, no chewing. We get to a point where we ask questions to what each of us ask questions to their guest. Actually, no chewing. I want to hold off on you. I want to go to Danny. Let's go to Danny in terms of just like questions for high school creations.
Let me pull out my notes first.
That's why I love you, Danny. You're always prepared.
I really don't have notes. I just pretend like I do.
I thought he was going to reach for another beer.
First question. First of all, thank you for being on. You are very talented, very, very talented. I was scamming through your page, and I was looking at. I love the neighborhood, with the stairs and stuff. The first thing I thought about was like, man, that would look like an amazing Haddonfield. Like that would be perfect for Haddonfield. So first question, what gives you inspiration to, maybe you answered this already, but what gives you inspiration? Like when you're starting a dial, right? What is like something that inspires you to make these dials? Is it something like just off the top of your head, or is it like something, a memory that you have as a child, or what is it?
It's kind of all the above, to be honest. It all depends on, because I've built a number of diodes over the years, but the ones that stand out are all the ones where I was kind of like off the cuff, just creating and then seeking inspiration. So like where I get inspiration, I'll go on walks, I'll go out in nature, kind of clear my mind, right? and then I'll start looking for real kind of references locally, right? I'm from a old town, Charleston, South Carolina. It's very old, very historical. So I'll get a lot of inspiration from that, and then traditional stuff like comic books and movies and stuff also. But when it comes down to commissions, if I'm like recreating something like the Quick Stop, I mean to go to the internet, start getting like blueprints, pictures. I want pictures of when the movie, the first movie, that's what this one's based off of, right? So getting data and then printing that stuff out and reviewing it. Then I start measuring things with calipers. So it really depends on what kind of build I'm doing. So, but I think I explained it hopefully well enough.
I've been to Charleston. Went there with some friends over weekend. Love the area. We were around like Foley Beach and whatnot. But my goodness, it was hot. It was like so hot.
It's another kind of hot. Here in July or August, you have the humidity to attend with.
It was July. Yeah,
and it's so muggy hot. You're sweating as soon as you step outside.
Yeah, I also have been there in July. One of my best friends lives by there, and I went for 4th of July, and it was like the hottest experience I've ever had in my life.
That's why we're always at the beach or on a boat or something like that during those months. It's a lot cooler.
Yeah, I bet. Danny?
I'm looking through the star questions, and a lot of the questions that they have I want to ask. So I'm not going to steal their questions, but maybe I'll go back to toys. So what would you say? Like you say you collect a bunch of toys. So I always ask this question. What is a grail piece of yours in your home right now? That would be like, what is a figure in your house right now that you would consider your grail?
Well, Thundercats tank is coming, so that would be one, right?
So this is one, and I say it's a grail just because it has a lot of memories tied to it, and this is going to be an enabler plug as well. I have Moff Gideon's Hot Toy figure, and I love the Mando series. I thought he was a true badass. He's wielding the dark saber. Plus, we got to meet him, the enablers, me, Yoko, and Mario, and got a picture with him. And I had that picture right beside it. So that one to me is a display grail piece for that particular purpose.
Gosh, was that a video? I didn't see that one.
It's when we went to Fan Expo back in August.
Oh, okay.
But the grail piece is actually on the way. I probably shouldn't have got this, but I got the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2, and they should be delivering here soon. And that's a Hot Toys. It is amazing. That's going to be the centerpiece of my collection. That DeLorean is like just so iconic. I can't wait to have that thing.
Oh man.
For a moment, I thought you meant you actually got the car.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so 1/6 cool. Scale.
I'm like, man, his career is really allowing him to buy a lot.
Are you going to buy the Hot Toys Batmobile, 89 Batmobile?
That's a good question.
Because I am.
I really want to, but I think my wife may leave me if I get that. The DeLorean's on the way. There's honestly no room. This past couple years of collecting, we've gotten so much stuff. It's just crazy. I want to. I did pre-order the 89 Bats Hot Toys, and then Mezco finally released that they were giving us that one. So, but I think it's for pre-order, and I haven't made the decision yet. But I think it's a no-brainer. No one's going to make that. They may re-release it, but no one's going to do it like that. And that price is really good. $700.
Yeah.
For 1/6 scale, highly accurate.
Mike, imagine the garage you could build for your cars.
Oh my god.
That's a great idea.
It'd be beautiful, man.
Not just the garage. You could build a bat cave.
I tell you what, I have some Matchbox versions. I can probably build a really good diorama with that.
Okay.
We'll do it.
A 1/6 size garage. That'd be
I'll take up my entire
quarter
garage.
of a room.
Yeah. A 1/6 scale bat cave.
That'd be so
awesome.
Oh my god. Danny, those are good questions. Any more?
Yeah. No, not that I could think of. Again, a lot of the questions that are going to be asked are questions I had in mind. But thank you for your response. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
No chewing. I know you went fishing for some questions today, or I don't know if anyone put anything in. And we have some questions from the chat, so I don't know which ones you want to go with first.
I'm actually going to show off one of the questions that was basically, the no-brainer question to ask. For me, at least, to be like, all right, this is the question you should ask a dial maker. And Sequential Plastic did the exact same thing. So I'll read off the what Zach said. Dude, your stuff is insane. I can't believe I'm only learning about you now. Any tips for a beginner dial maker?
Yeah,
So that
simple stuff. Get you an X-Acto knife. Keep the blade sharp. Get you a straight edge ruler. Make sure it's metal. It can be a foot or 2 foot. And then go to Home Depot, get you some foam, and just start going crazy. Learn from everything you do. It'll build over time. Don't get serious on your first one. Just take it slow, and you'll get there.
Excellent. And
I like that. Make those mistakes, because that's how you learn from.
Yeah.
And then as you excel beyond, say, like you're not so much of a beginner, you've tried a few times. What is your recommendation for the first, not like super expensive piece of equipment, but what would be that item? Like you're on Amazon, you're looking at it, you want to spend between $100 and $300 on something to enhance whatever you're doing.
Yeah. So before we get to that tool, what I'll say is what really I think helps set mine apart is I try to make my stuff true to 1/12 scale. That means I do measurements. And so I would recommend, now these can range from, these are calipers, by the way, digital calipers. These can range from cheap end $20 to high end $150. But these are going to get all those fine measurements, right? And
how much is that one?
This one's cheap. This is like $20. I used to be a screw machine operator. My early years, right after high school, my buddy's dad owned a machine shop, and I was a screw machine operator. So I had to have a nice set, and I still have that set. Actually, it's right here. Still has some oil in there. So this is like a $200 set of calipers, but these aren't digital. Well, there's my last name too, but that's cool. You guys know me. As far as the next tool, what I would recommend if you're going to get a tool, let's say you already have all the safety stuff, get you a Proxon or some sort of kind of hot wire cutter and learn how to use that thing, because that thing will set your cuts off, right? It'll set up those hard edges. You won't have to use a blade anymore except for those really fine cuts that you want to do, or if you're doing big cuts. But yeah, a hot wire cutter I think would be your next step in your game evolution.
And only because you brought up with the caliper, and I'm just realizing right now, when we say like 1/12, 1/6, how would you actually use the caliper to measure something? What's the math behind that?
That's great. So let's say, I do a lot of stuff with like lasers and 3D parts, right? So I need a lot of references a lot of times. Example is like this, right? I wanted to set this net peg a certain height. I knew the height, but if I try to use like a long ruler, it just didn't work. So I was using calipers up beside it, either the front end or the back end. Another example is these windows. I printed them out. I knew the size, but when I was building with some wood windows, I didn't have that digital file. So I just went over to my calipers, found my size, and then typed it in. So when you're working in small scale, whether that be millimeters or inches, and you need to do math like conversions or something like that, calipers really come in very handy. Plus, let's say if you're building to scale, right? Again, you can stick a ruler up to this, or you can take your calipers and get you an accurate reading right down to the decimal point with, digital calipers. So I would say it makes your measurements accurate, and it makes measuring accurate.
That's like, so when you measure it, what is it reading to you? Like, just like the measurement of what you're measuring?
Yeah, sure. Like if I want to know how thick my wallet is here.
Yeah.
1.63 millimeters.
Got it.
Right. So if I'm going to go make some sort of new cover for this, or, make some sort of contraption in my shop where I want to put my wallet while I work, I'd use that to measure it, right? I do build a lot of dials. I think I'm known for dials, but I build all my tools, right? Infrastructure for tools like tables, desks, paint holders, my paint booth. I built all that, right? So I use all these tools, not just for dioramas.
Got it.
Oh, that's awesome.
You are a handy dude.
All right. One more question, because you had said that you started with well, in the past 4 years, you started with like a lot of the Hasbro stuff, but moved up to Mafex and Hot Toys. Which, if you had to choose one particular, toy brand that's, in that import range for dollar price, which would be your favorite?
Good question.
Yeah, that is very tough. And I'm going to have to lean over here because, I failed to mention this earlier when we were talking about childhood shows, and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT now, and Dragon Ball Super, but it'd be SHF would probably be the line I would stick with, and always probably buy Dragon Ball characters, no matter what. If it's the only one I could buy, it would be them.
Awesome. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Second runner-up would be NECA animated turtles.
Oh, nice. Are you hunting this week?
I'm not actually. I say that, and I haven't picked up a new set since the Neutrinos, and I think a lot of stuff's came out after that. So I really got to catch up.
Yeah, the toddler turtles, that accessory pack is like the hot item right now. Nothing like baby turtles to get grown men really excited. Be like, I'm gonna go to every Target till I find it. I'm gonna harass every NECA rep.
Not this grown man. This is time out.
Oh, come on, man.
I know. When you see them,
if it's a baby Michael Myers, then maybe we'll talk about
Danny, imagine that mashup though. You got the toddler turtles, you got Michael Myers walking down the hallway.
They are pretty cool though. Like I've seen reviews, they are pretty cool. They come with a lot of stuff.
They do come with a lot of stuff.
They kill it with the accessories, NECA in general, but yeah.
Yeah, that pack seems really it's a good pack. All right, so I got a couple questions when I went to go fish IG for people, and actually Samurai Chris I think is already in here, but Samurai Chris had a question. Would you rather be haunted by a ghost or abducted by aliens? I like this question quite a bit. I'm gonna save this for every guest we have.
That's a great question.
That's really good.
I believe, let's just put it that way. So I'd like to be abducted. If that sounds like a good time to me. Well, except for maybe some of the
probe,
not the probing stuff.
Probe.
Totally against that. Maybe I should go with ghost because there's no touching with a ghost, right?
Yeah, right.
But they're always watching.
Choose
they're
wisely,
always watching,
please.
and they're probably wondering what's wrong with me.
That is.
I don't even know which one I would choose. Maybe ghosts. Yeah, ghosts.
I think ghosts because at least I can just close my eyes and pretend it's not there.
There we go. That's the name of your book.
Wait, hold on, Danny. What would you pick?
Suzuki. I would pick Suzuki. No, I would do ghosts. I don't want to be pro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna pick ghosts.
Rather be spooked than touched.
Yeah, I don't want to be touched. Lay off. Keep your hands off me, please. Just scare me. Ooh, that's all I need.
I don't mind. Be gentle.
And the next question comes from Smarl Stevens. They ask, what did you tell yourself after your first dial attempt? And for context, was that dial good?
Well, after the first dial, I kept going, and that may have been because it wasn't good and I wanted it to be good. But my first one was just a brick wall. I carved the bricks out with a big pen, plasti dipped it, and then dry brushed it. And I used the green foam from Lowe's, and I don't like that foam. Won't ever use it again. So
why?
I think it's just like why? It has a weird grain, and maybe it's gotten better, but it tears. Even if you got a sharp blade, it tears on certain grains. So it just doesn't cut great, right? It works for some things, but not all things. So my go-to stuff is the pink foam. If I'm using foam on that build from Home Depot, it's the Pink Panther stuff. But I think it was just a challenge to just keep taking it to the next level because I did see people doing things that blew my mind. I was like, can I do that? And I kept trying. And I still look at people. I'm like, how do they do that? I want to do that, you know?
Well, you've become one of those people. How did he do that? I want to do that.
Yeah, like that McDonald's one you were talking about. Nah, I got nothing. I kind of know how you did the brick walls, but everything else, no.
I got secrets. I use lasers, but you just don't hit a button and it's ding done, right? So a lot of stuff I'm doing nowadays is in digital space where I'm like, taking references or blueprints and then shrinking them down and then, tweaking it to the size of, the die I want to make and then cutting it and figuring out what power I should use at what speed to cut this particular material. And so it's created some overhead for the building, but I think it adds to the overall effect, right? So it's not just like foam, even though it's cool just to carve from foam. It's multiple materials giving you these different types of finishes and textures, and different materials take paint differently and add a realism. So it's just really cool.
Awesome.
You got any other questions?
No, those are the end of my questions. I know we have a bunch starred in the chat, and
so and again, if you want any other questions, please just ask them in the chat. We star them and we're gonna go through them. First one was Zach. What was your sequential plastic? What was your most challenging build?
So I was most challenging build was the Deuces Wild I did from why am I blanking on the movie with Robert De Niro? What is the name of the movie?
Casino Royale?
No, with Robert De Niro.
I mean not Casino.
Oh no, not Casino. What is the name of that movie? Totally blanking on it. Anyway, it was a building from a movie. It was my first recreation of a building from a movie. Only the outside was ever seen of the Deuces Wild, never the inside. This commissioner wanted, just randomly pinged me actually, and this is 3 years into my building, maybe 2 years. And so I took the commission and started it. Also at the time I started the X Mansion, which was at the time my biggest build. It rivals the city in ways with my skill set back then. And so I was taking both these on at the same time. But the Deuces Wild ended up becoming that first true piece for me where my realism came out. And it stood out to me on how I do things and can do things. And it pushed me because not only did I create an interior that he loved, but it also complemented the outside of this building when you're reproducing something that's in a movie, it's got to be screen accurate. I think I got pretty close to that, right down to the props to, the lanterns on the outside, but also created props and bar themes on the inside that, again, people looked at it and was like, oh, is this real? Like it had working can lights, like it had wood floors, it had a pool table, it had the pool rack on the wall. It was just a standout build, and it was challenging at the time because that was my first time doing something that real, and it was honestly by accident.
I think I found it on your page. Let me see. Is this it?
Yep.
Wow.
Too Much New Toy says it's Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
No, hold on.
A Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale.
That's it.
Yeah.
But first time doing a garage that way. This thing it completely broke down. So, it's 360 diorama all the way around. Now, I did not build the jukebox. I bought the jukebox. Unfortunately, that would make me really stand out. But all the other things are working props that I made. Right down to the pool table. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
The lights, it's just so impressive.
Look at wow. How did you do this? That's just a printout, right?
That is just a printout. There's some casted props back there, like the taps. Now the little accessories like beers and stuff. But yeah, that's a printout that I just bordered, make it look like a chalkboard like you'd have at a bar, right?
Yeah.
I did some transparencies and mirrors to make those bottles look real on the top.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's just printouts there, high quality printing.
Oh wow, look at that.
Little locks, those are all handmade, little signs.
How's that?
Yeah, there's the pool rack. I hand carved those pool sticks.
Did you really?
I did.
That's cool.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's pretty incredible. Yikes. Wow. Most challenging build. All right, Not a Bird asks, what is one thing you want to build that you haven't yet?
That's a great question. Because 6 months ago I would have said a McDonald's, and I did that. I really want to make Wall XD happen, like phase 1, 2, and 3. I think building that digitally and delivering that will be the most important thing I do this year and next year, and I'm concentrating everything towards that. So,
well, let's go into that because we haven't really talked about that. So this is a Kickstarter that you'll be starting, or that you have started.
Yeah, so it'd be a Kickstarter that launches March 14th. So, as a collector and a creator, right, you would think I would make every diorama or every piece that I want, but I actually collect from other artists, right? Most of my displays aren't my own. They're from other artists, whether that be Lawless Studios or, Vasco Toys. I got one from 796 Studios. The Diorama Project. I got them from a lot of people. But one of the challenges for me is finding something that, one, fits in a DTOF just fine. It can fit on each shelf, fits perfect. Or if I want to, take it out and then make something I can shoot with or use as a backdrop when I'm doing toy photography, or even just doing like toy reviews. I do some toy reviews when I really am into figures, kind of like the Zap Zords that came out, the Hasbro remake of the Megazord. So I really wanted to create something not just for me, but that I could share with people, of building, something like that using my experience from over the years and just feedback from customers. And so taking that initial design that my kids were like, hey, make something with the laser, with the diode, using that as kind of inspiration and making this simple piece that could then expand, right? And then making something that, I know solves a problem for me and potentially solves a problem for the rest of the, collecting community. And so it came up with Wall XD. Me and Mario talked behind the scenes for years. I'm sure you guys know 796 Studios, and I've been kicking around an idea like this, something modular, something that's expandable, adaptable, customizable, something that we would really love that doesn't exist out there in 1/12 scale, at least exists in how we thought of it, right? And so came up with Wall XD, a brick wall that's most of the time what many commissioners want is a brick wall, because it goes with so many different things. You can add different components to it, and you can take it from a western to a sci-fi to a city scene with just a few pieces. You can change out. So a brick wall is very versatile. And adding to, and I can show some stuff off here. This is my initial prototype of Wall XD. So I designed it with some help in 3D Space. Came up with a tab system. These are dovetails, very rigid. They're very simple to use, and they're very strong. And so they do stand out here. But when you add the tab gons, is what I call them, the tag covers, it hides this, what is essential to the set to complete it if you're doing a single like DTOF view or single figure view. And then so you can expand, vertically if you want to take it up a few, or you can scale out horizontally. And so I'll highlight something behind me. This is 3 pieces. This is 3 pieces combined.
Wow.
So you can see that's almost 3 feet of diode space, right? Now I've got some stuff not all in there, but these are all connected and sturdy. I have some working prototypes. And you can see with these tab gons on the side, it hides those, and it still fits in a DTOF. Very beautiful.
That's cool.
The tab system, a lot of people have questions about these tabs. You have the tab, you got the tab gon. They fit on there pretty easy. They don't fall off. I mean, you're not going to be shaking your diorama, right? But yeah, you can see that it's very sturdy. And then you just pop it off, right? You don't have hurt thumbs at the end of the day or little missing pieces everywhere.
Oh, and then on that piece, you're showing off just the top component that I don't think we've seen yet.
Yeah, so I can show this off. So I'll just go back to the base real quick. This is the base. Now, these aren't textured. These are just being printed out as prototype. Texture would just add some print time. But this is how it connects to the base. There is a slotted tab system in the back. Wow. Just fits on there like that. And then that also is how it connects to the top.
Nice.
So
Wow.
like that, very sturdy. So these are just pieces where, like, I don't know if you guys 3D print, but you're going to have failures. I keep the failures because you can still use them for reference, right? I think what you might be calling out, I don't know if you guys can still hear me. Sorry about that.
No, we can.
Is these holes here? Was that what you're calling out?
No, I was calling out that it was just the top half of the wall.
Oh yeah.
So I'm now realizing that there's even more customization that's in this in Wall XD.
Exactly. So I think a lot of people haven't seen the customization, and so last Saturday I've been doing a weekly live on my channel. I did reveal that there will be a grayscale version of this, so kind of like this, be a grayscale version. It's called an artist proof. That, you know, if you're a customizer and want to get into this, you can definitely paint over what I am going to paint and deliver as a reward. But you can also buy a grayscale and, you know, go to town on it. If you're a painter and want to do some crazy graffiti or different color brick, or, you know, take it to some other level, right? You'll be able to do that with it. And then
that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, why not? I mean, you know, honestly, McFarlane was the inspiration for that. I started seeing these artist ones, and they look really cool in grayscale. And seeing all these in grayscale was like, oh, this is awesome. But also, it gives customizers, not just collectors, you know, the desire to maybe jump in here too and do their own thing, right? And I would love to see that. I want to see someone, you know, Mario uses this term, cheeseburger the diorama piece, right? Take this and take it to the next level. I love to see that. I hope people tag me in it when they get this thing in hand. But I think that would be cool. I also announced the pegs. You guys see these holes, probably wonder what those are for.
Yeah.
I haven't shown off what they're for, but here you don't see them. So there's little modular pegs around the door, or the window, excuse me, and around here. That's a teaser for later. I will be announcing that, but let your mind go. I can imagine what you guys are already thinking. We'd love to hear those comments, but yeah, the peg system may be useful. For
lights.
Wisconsin.
That's awesome. Wow. So your Kickstarters, you said March 14th?
That's right. March 14th at 4 p.m. That'll be a Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So for those of you who don't know, like if you go in the description, High School Creations, Instagram's there, the link to the Instagram, but also the link to his link tree. So I imagine the Kickstarter will be in your link tree.
So in the link tree, there is an email sign up. That is important because that's helped me understand the amount of interest. That's part of the pre-launch. I'm trying to grab that so that I know going in, hey, this is what I expect. You know, I don't want to be kind of shocked by either negative or, you know, or positive. Those things do happen, right? So trying to gauge the number of interest. Plus, that allows me to send you a few emails. I promise I'm not going to spam you. A welcome email, and then just like an updated email since you signed up, like exclusive details, right? And then once the campaign goes live, you'll get a personal email saying, hey, it's live. If you're interested, now's the time to jump in. And so that'll help me understand the interest from the community, because what I don't want to do is write a novel and then have a bunch of books published and have those books sit in my garage for the next 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure this is something people want. I know this is something I want. I know the people I've talked to is something they want, but is that something the community wants? And that this is what's going to answer that, right?
Yeah. So please email him, put your email into what's the link on the link tree?
It's the very first link. It should be an email sign up.
Got it.
You'll see a picture of Wall XD right there.
Got it. Check it out. I'm going to do it tonight. I haven't done that. And I'm definitely interested in this Wall XD Kickstarter. So awesome.
Yeah. And then just to say this is, so I have planned out 3 phases. This is phase 1. This right here, what you see here is phase 1. It comes with the wall, the base, the window. This actually pops out, the wood window, the pegs, and the 2 covers. That is what the Kickstarter is for, is phase 1. There will be incentives to try to reach phase 2 and phase 3 in the Kickstarter, where there is more expandability and more customization for this dio that I hope to be able to share here in the coming weeks.
Awesome. Have you released the backing or price range, or is that going to be, are you waiting for that till March 14th?
Haven't released that. That's a great question. Have not released that information yet, but as a part of the pre-launch, building out the page now, there is a review period for Kickstarter. I want to make sure all that gets through the review, and then I will be sharing the actual Kickstarter page out pre-launch so people knows where it is and can save it, bookmark it, whatever they want to do, and all the information will be there before the launch on March 14th.
Got it. Okay.
That's so cool, man.
That is awesome
for you.
And I don't think we've talked to a lot of people that have Kickstarters. I don't think we've talked to anyone that's about to launch one or have talked us through the product itself. So that's really exciting.
Oh man, Kickstarter, understanding that is so there's an algorithm there, all this thing you have to do from a marketing perspective. I'm learning so much, and it's very cool. But I do have a team that's helping me out with this and navigating how to do this. So I appreciate all you guys that are supporting the project.
Yeah, do it. Please do. I mean, I think that's I definitely will be. So you got one here.
Oh yeah, same.
And no chewing.
I've been waiting. Like behind the scenes, inside baseball. Toy Father doesn't always tell us who's coming, on a regular basis. So when he said you were coming on the show, I think I found out like 4 days ago. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I've been seeing Wall XD show up across Instagram. I was like, oh, can't wait till this is revealed.
Awesome. So here, we have 3 more questions that when you're building these masterpieces, does the despair and self-doubt ever creep in? And if so, how do you get through it?
All the time. I think everybody goes through that, right? That voice, and the negative voice in your head. Everybody has it. Maybe everybody doesn't, agree it's there, but it is there. And you have to just shut it off, right? Because especially with social media now, like I could be building something and then see what somebody else has got and look at mine and go, oh my God, what did I do? Kind of thing, right? But you have to forget about it. Just let your mind create. And you got to remember it's for you, right? At the end of the day, it's what you're doing and doing it for you, whether you're selling it or not. You're representing yourself. So do the best you can and don't try to be somebody else, right? Be yourself.
Exactly. I like that one. Be yourself. Tony Fans 430. What materials do you use for your building dios?
I think the better question is, what haven't I used? I'm just kidding. So XPF foam, the pink stuff, the green stuff is good, if you want to make rocks and stuff. But I use MDF, plywood, PVC, acrylic. I'm looking around the room. Anything you can find probably in a general store, I probably attempted to use. I would say, if you're going to start building, just look around and how you can make stuff. I typically try to make stuff like, it would be built 1-1. So I try to use a similar material. And if I can't, I find something like it.
Okay. And Carlos asks, when it comes to XPS foam, do you prefer 1 inch thick or 1/2 inch?
Okay, question.
I think they both have their place. I do see a tendency for everybody to build 1 inch, but I think most of the time here lately, I've been building with 1/2 inch, but that's because I'm using other materials. 1 inch is definitely more sturdy and durable. And if you're using, the bigger magnets to magnetize your piece, they fit in a lot better. But I don't know if you guys have seen the price of foam, but it's more than doubled, the past couple of years. And, using less is more. Plus, when you buy the 1/2 inch foam, it doesn't come pre-cut. So I want to say the 1 inch and 2 inch foam already has those slits because it's made for insulation. So it breaks down at like 12 or 16 inches, and that's already like cut in. 1/2 inch isn't like that. So you don't get all that pre-cut stuff. So you get to use the full sheet without having any waste.
Wow. Now I know No Chewing is trying to get into the dio game.
Ooh, let's go.
So No Chewing, I would have a question for you. If you, after today's interview with High School Creations, what would inspire you to make your first dio? Like, what you've talked about a lot of different things, but what would be your first piece?
Yeah, I've been looking at that Proxon hot wire wire cutter for a while. It's been in my Amazon cart, ranging between like 140, 160. I was like, oh, I should buy it, and then it's been sitting in my cart for like maybe like 6 months. The thing that I really wanted to build a hotel. Like that, the lobby. Well, first it started off with the hallway. Lone Wolf Labs, I think, actually, I see him. He's in their chat right now, and he made these hallways, and I kept thinking, it's like, a cool hallway would be like a hotel one. Yeah. I could, I have like excess wallpaper from when I wallpapered my bathroom. I would never recommend it. It looks beautiful. It's awful to apply as a giant sticker, but I have excess material. So I was thinking like a hotel hallway. Then I was thinking, all right, if I get the hallway, maybe I can do the lobby. If I do the lobby, maybe I can have that nice exterior brick wall facade. And then I'm a big, I already said I love Hugh Jackman. I watch The Greatest Showman a lot. My kids are obsessed. And there's that scene where he's dancing with Michelle Williams on the rooftop in New York. And I was thinking like a New York rooftop would be really cool to have. Overall for Dio stuff, I have like nothing. I made some, I think like a year ago for like Ninja Turtles, like a sewer type brick kind of circle hole. I did that. And so I have those, but for everything else, Marvel or, street level and above, I have nothing for it. So
oh, wow. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. I think my second question is, why didn't you tell me you like Greatest Showman? Why didn't we listen to that on our way to the New Jersey Toy Con?
Because we're live streaming, and if we have copyrighted music playing in it, they take down the stream.
Fair point.
And point. I think that was the second time we met in real life. But
he didn't want to share that.
I'm pretty open about how much I like. Actually, no, it's a joking, like comment that I love musicals, but I really do. My dad liked musicals, and I inherited that same, affinity.
I love musicals too. This is something we're sharing right now. I can't believe it. Danny, how about you? I knew you do it. Yeah,
come on, you love musicals. I can see in your eyes.
I see in your eyes.
I do like musicals. The only musical I will ever watch is Grease. I won't watch anything else but Grease.
No way, really?
Grease is the only one I would ever watch. I would never watch anything else but Grease.
Mike, where do you land on musicals?
I think I would have to say that I think I like musicals too, and here's why. I think a lot of Disney movies are actually musicals.
Yes, they are.
They're all musicals almost. Yep. We sit there and listen to them, as kids. So I would say I'm a musical guy. I don't know how many I've seen recently that are live action musicals, but maybe that'll change tonight. Maybe you inspired me to go check some out.
Hey, I mean, I will say Milan that they released a couple years ago on Disney, like in theaters and Disney Plus. It was not a musical, and I think that's why it failed. Give me that moment. She cuts the hair, and that song.
Yeah, and they didn't give us Mushu, so that was
no Mushu. Right?
No Mushu.
You have all these other freaky animals.
I'm not sold.
I don't know how we got here. But High School Creations, I honestly like. We were really pumped for you to come on, see some of your stuff, and talk about Wallach's, just talk to you about your craft itself. There is one piece before we leave that we like to do for all of our guests. It's called Rapid Fire. You have 10 seconds to answer these questions. And it's not a lot of questions. It's like 5 or 6 questions, but they're just kind of fun. So I guess, are you ready for Rapid Fire?
Let's go.
All right. Favorite toy line?
3-0.
The Transformers. Are you really into the Transformers right now?
Transformers and Iron Man they're putting out are really good. I just got the Hulkbuster on sale for Christmas, and that got me into the other ones. Those are really good. They're die-cast, I feel like. And some have lights, and so...
Yeah. Danny has 3-0 Bloodshot.
Bloodshot.
That's 112 Stark Lab would be really cool. I'm just saying.
Danny, the comic book shop that Nochu and I had that figure.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
I love him.
All right, favorite toy.
Oh man, I think it would have to. Honestly, I got it right here. It had to be this Cell Perfect or Imperfect Cell, First Form Cell.
Okay.
I really like this figure. Brings back memories. I keep it on the desk.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
I think I know what your answer is going to be. Saltwater or freshwater?
Saltwater. There's no alligators.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Everything around here, all the water, something's going to take you.
Yeah. Yeah. When I went there, We did an alligator tour. It was like the thing to do.
We got crocodiles now too. They're coming back.
Coming back? Oh my god, jeez. How can you like? Is there if you see one, or do you know that's the difference? I mean, all of it is alligators to me.
Alligator mouth and only the top teeth are
Okay.
over. Crocodiles have the bottom teeth that come up. They're more pointed. I also, outside of collecting, I also do some duck hunting. So I'm in the water with these crazy beasts sometimes.
No
So
shit.
yeah,
Really?
it's my biggest fear is an alligator.
Oh my god. So what are some precautions? Sorry, this is not part of rapid fire. What are some precautions that you take when you're duck hunting so you make sure that alligators aren't near you? You just
Walking slow and keeping your wits about you. That's all you can say because you never
that's
know.
not good enough for me.
The only thing good about it is it's cold, so they're like lethargic and they don't want to move a lot because I've stepped on one before. But that's about it.
I'm out. Although you are armed, so
I mean, you are, but that's not going to do much to an alligator, probably.
I mean, I thought you were gonna say, I have the special alligator spray, keeps it away.
The bat shark repellent. They also make a bat alligator repellent.
Yes, exactly. All right, back to rapid fire. Superpower.
Oh man, that'd be like a mind power of some sort, being able to wield things with my mind.
I feel like we've gotten a lot of mind answers as of late in terms of superpower. That's interesting. What makes you feel old?
Old?
Old.
My back.
Yeah, same here.
I feel that.
What makes you feel young?
My kids, man. They can have the worst day in the world and come home to those guys, and I'll feel young again, just giddy laughter and stuff like that over something silly. It's fun.
I hear on that. What is this is specific to you, your favorite dio?
By me or just ever?
Let's go by you and then ever.
By me, it'd have to be the Epic, just because it's so Epic City Dio that the one you showed off at the beginning, just because I've put so much time and effort into it, not just building it, but also shipping it is another component, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's for me. From another creator, I actually have it in my possession from Mario 796 Studios. He made me a DTOF cyberpunk diorama, and he sent it to me blindly, and the thing is awesome. I have it on display, and it's probably one of my favorite pieces.
That's really nice. All right, last question. If you had to give someone who does not collect toys a gift, actually let's put it, if you had to give someone who does not have a dio a gift, a dio, what dio would you give them?
But they collect toys?
They collect toys, yes.
Huh. I'm about to go Wall XD. You know the answer here. I have to get them a Wall XD.
That was a lob. That was a lob.
Healthy plug.
Well, I honestly was going to think about it, and I was like, well, the most common thing is a brick wall. It goes to anything. And I was like, oh, Wall XD.
Yes.
You're awesome. Welcome. Oh, one more question.
Thank you.
One more question, because you said NECA animated turtles. What's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Oh, good question.
It's going to be Raph. He's
Nice.
my favorite turtle. He keeps it real.
Wait, who's yours? No chewing.
I usually like to say it's Leo, followed by a close second of Mikey.
Okay. How about you, Danny?
I'm Mikey all the way. That's my personality. That's me all the way.
Mikey. You're definitely Mikey.
Now, if you were to ask, I'm definitely a Donnie. That's who I am, but my favorite is Raph.
You're definitely a Donnie, yeah.
We had this conversation with J-Shot and Machutoy about why you choose a certain turtle. I think growing up, I was probably more like Raph, a little bit hot-tempered. So I always wanted to be, more put together, the leader, the first one to speak, in Leo. And then ultimately just well-liked, which is Mikey. Everyone loves Mikey. He's the fun one.
Yeah. I definitely like Leo. I'm more of a Vern.
That's funny.
All right, High School Creations, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks,
I
man.
hope you had some fun. We always like to have fun. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for giving us some great questions. The chat was bumping for most of the piece. Yimbo reviews everything. TA Black and Wednesdays for March, the first one coming up with a splash of green coming up this Wednesday. Check it out. And we just had such a great time with you. And honestly, your work's incredible. March 14th, the Kickstarter is going to jump. Go check out the description in the on the video to get to High School Creations Linktree. Sign up or put your email in, and then you can get email updates on the Kickstarter, which will launch on March 14th for Wall XD. So cannot wait for that. Really can't wait for that. Is there anything else that you wanted to plug, Mike?
Yeah, every first Thursday of the month over on Kev's channel, toying around with the enablers. I am also the host of Diorama Talk. The show has been around for about a year, but that was an artist like diorama centric show. And then me and Mario are doing the build once a month. It's like the last Saturday of every month where we just get on and chop it up, talk about dioramas, processes, and anything around that.
Awesome. Yeah, check it out. All those links are in the link tree, right?
Yep.
Okay, so check out that link tree in the description. And again, High School Creations, truly gifted, but as from what I see, you're also just so gosh darn hardworking, and that's what makes you even better than what you are in terms of your work, and it just keeps getting better. So thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your talent with us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
No chewing. Thank you, buddy. Danny, thank you, buddy. And we will see all you next week. Our guest next week is who is our guest next week?
I believe it's the folks from Almighty Legends.
That's
also
right.
Going through a Kickstarter right now as well. They are based out in New Hampshire, so it's pretty local.
That's right. It is Almighty Legends. So check them out. We can't wait to have them on. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week for another episode of Toy Talk.